in another episode of This Company Is Not Your Man's. These company is not your friend. These companies are not your buddy. These companies are not your bud. These companies are not your pal. They're not your chum. They're not one of the guys. They're not one of the girls. None of that. These companies are corporations designed to take your money. And another episode of these corporations are designed to take your money. We got Microsoft trying to gaslight us. Microsoft is trying to trick us. They're trying to play with our mind. They're trying to psyop us yet again. Cause former Microsoft exec says if Xbox hadn't shelled out over $1 billion to fix its infamous Red Ring of Death, I'm not sure the Xbox brand would be around today. The reason why I say this is a psyop is because the Xbox brand is on its way out. This is an Xbox campaign. There's literally no reason to own an Xbox, and there's literally no reason for Xbox to continue making consoles, like at all. Because at this point, you either buy a PC and get Xbox and PlayStation games, you buy a PlayStation, get PlayStation and Xbox games, or you buy a Nintendo and get Nintendo and Xbox games. What's the point of buying an Xbox? Like seriously, besides brand loyalty, and we're not company dick munchers over here. We're not company blowjobbers over here. So I don't feel loyal to no piece of plastic. If you're not offering me value, I'm not buying your shit, period. So another reason why I say this headline, like off rip, no matter what this nigga says, is stupid, it's for the simple fact that, like, bro, you spending $1 billion to fix a problem that is your fault because of your manufacturing error. Like, you are saying that your brand has survived and that they wouldn't be around if y'all didn't pay to fix those consoles. Hey, bro, Xbox One, Flopposaurus Rex. Xbox S, Flopposaurus Rex. Xbox Series X, Flopposaurus Rex. Xbox One Scarlet, Flopposaurus Rex. Everything since the 360 Slim has been a ooh. It's been like a fish on a deck, flop, just flopping. So what do you mean you're not sure the brand will be around today? No, it wouldn't. The only reason why this brand is still around is because Microsoft has infinite money. I swear to God. Xbox, like, yes, Xbox is profitable, but Xbox is not profitable because of the console. But let's read on, because maybe there's some context that I'm missing. It took us a while to figure out what was... Wait, let me put on a dramatic music, because he might say something that changed my mind. It took us a while to figure out what was going on. More recalled, where the fans in the right place. What? Trying to figure out whether, wrapping the towel around it will create more heat, which will rejoin some of the issues of the cracks in some of the units. All of this was going on and it was stressful. But one thing I will always say, is this was for us a defining moment. Please elaborate. If we hadn't done what we did, I'm not sure the Xbox brand will be around today. What's the Xbox brand getting up to today? So this nigga gave us a nothing burger quote. Let's see if he said some more. Oh, I see quotations. Last week, Xbox got hit by layoffs. These changes come at a time when we have more players, games, and gaming hours than ever before. Our platform, hardware, and game roadmap have never looked stronger. So I'm right. This is a psyop, because that was a nothing burger ass quote. Like, I don't know what these dots are, if that's him pausing or if that's part of the quote they took out because they felt it was unnecessary. But this nigga said nothing. He said, bro, it was a defining moment. If we ain't fixed the broken Xboxes we sent out the niggas, we wouldn't be around. I would argue you're barely around right now. Because outside of hardcore gamers, nobody has Game Pass. Like, people who are softcore gamers are just now starting to get into Game Pass because of Call of Duty. But even then, a lot of the people who have Game Pass for Call of Duty are still more hardcore Call of Duty players. that's still not all of gaming. Because like a lot of gaming right now, like imagine this is a pie chart right here. This is how much of it is hardcore gamers. This is how much, this is how much of it is hardcore gamers. This is how much of it is the people. Wait, I'm saying it backwards because I'm getting so frustrated with this stupid ass quote. Pie chart. This much of the pie is hardcore gamers. The rest of this pie is casual gamers. So who the fuck are you fooling? Most people are not buying actual Xboxes. Nothing burger ass article. And just to give y'all a couple quick updates. This one is actually something I wanted to yap about a little bit. BioShock creator says audiences reward single player games that don't have other methods of monetization, like Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and Clair Obscur Expedition 33. Where is the quote? I don't want to read all this extra shit. Levine makes clear that he doesn't fault game developers for what he calls ulterior motives. Yeah, because it's a business. Where's the quote, nigga? Judas is a very old school game, Levine says. You buy the game, you get the whole thing. There's no online component, there's no live service, because everything we do is in service of telling the story and transporting the player, which at the end of the day should be the goal of games. The gaming medium is an art form. Now, I know when you play Madden every year and the only art is how good the mathematicians can come up with math to make the sweat drip down LeBron's head for like the 20th game in a fucking row. I know when you play that, when you play Call of Duty, where half the fucking art is AI generated and the other half is just a nigga saying, okay, we took the last skin, but we drew a black mark across the middle of it. When you play games like that, it's hard to see gaming as an art form. But when you play stuff like they listed, Kingdom Come and all that, when you play something like The Last of Us, when you play something like The Outer Worlds, when you play something like, even though it is a rare occasion of a live service game actually being artsy, when you play something like Marvel Rivals, you start to appreciate games and gaming as an art form. Overwatch 1, before they went free to play, and Overwatch 1.5, they finally just recently got to 1.5 with stuff like the stadium, but it'll never be 2 if there's no story. Suck my dick, you niggas that get abused by Activision Blizzard. You niggas that's getting abused by Blizzard, suck my dick. I'll never respect them niggas until they give me a story mode. I don't give a fuck about what they indoctrinated you and believing and being okay with. Until they get a story mode, it's fuck them. They can suck all sides of my dick, from the left, right side to the balls. They can eat the ass with it too. Fuck them until I get my story mode. Anyway, back to my point. Overwatch 1, before like the 1.5 update came out, the 1.5 free to play update came out. Like, yeah, gaming is an art form. That's why games that came out 10 and 15 and 20 years ago, there's still people that want to play them. Because gaming is an art form, and part of art is it being a timepiece. So there's certain timepiece and culturally relevant and contextual things in older games that you won't see in newer games that are special to those games because of the time they came out in. And that's with any form of art, not just in gaming, but you know, that's what we're talking about right now. So it's like, yeah. Transporting the player, that's your biggest goal. That's the reason why I say one of the rare exceptions to the live service slop tag, even though I call the live service slop, is Marvel Rivals, because it does have its live service elements in there, because at the end of the day, they're a business and they want to make money. But when I'm playing Marvel Rivals and I see fucking the Hulk walking down the hallway slow-mo, and I come out of nowhere, I berserker dash and I grip that nigga by his thighs and I lift him up and I take him around the corner so that we can fight us a 1v1, and I whoop his ass and he D-Max and transforms down and he's walking in to Bruce Banner and I get to beat his ass. I really feel like Wolverine when I get to fucking sit there and go pure. I really feel like I'm Wanda Maximoff. Like, I really feel like I'm Wanda Maximoff. When I get to swing on the side of a building and jump in the middle of 4 people and start poking them with my tendrils, I really feel like Venom. When you learn how to play Spider-Man and you swing in the middle of the back line and you spin in a circle and web 20 people at once, you really feel like you're a spider nigga. Like that's just why I like that game. The idea of games is to transport people to a different world than the one they're in. So like a lot of these live service games, they don't really do that. And that's why I will repeat it and say it over and over till you niggas get this through your skull. Most people who play games right now, especially the younger audience, they don't play games because they're game enthusiasts. They play games because that's their third space. This is no diss on any developers who have done that. Because look, games are expensive to make. Facts. It takes millions of dollars to make a game. And even if you make a game solo by yourself, if you think about how much money it will cost to get that game built in a more efficient amount of time, even if you're doing it as a solo dev, you will realize like, yeah, games cost a lot. So even those games that are made on shoestring budgets, like niggas be having to come out their pocket as a solo dev and spend like 10 bands on it, and they don't have to pay themselves because they're the only developer. So it is one of those things where it's like, yes, games are expensive. Games right now are one of the more expensive art form mediums to get into from the start. Like technically, just like every other art form, there's no barrier to entry because Unreal Engine is free, just like a pencil and a piece of paper is free, just like a fucking downloading a cracked version of FL Studio is free, and getting a microphone, an old microphone from your local church, or using your webcam, or not even that, it's free to use the phone that you already have and download BandLab. So it's like, on the surface, it's a easier barrier to entry, but unlike music, you could post a music snippet, song sound, and blow up and go hyper viral and become a millionaire for free. It's not the same thing with games, because you need to market your games, you need to get people to play your games, that costs money. Getting your game trailer showed at different events like Summer Games Fest and stuff like that costs money. So it's like, it is a way higher barrier to entry for video games creation to anything else. And also, like, the difference between a video game and like a song is like, you don't need 6 and 7 people to make a song, which technically you don't need 6 and 7 people to make a game. But for you to be a solo dev on like a fully fleshed out experience for a game, it is 10 times more difficult than just making a song. 10 times. Or like even painting a painting, for example. 10 times hard. And we're very fortunate to work at a company where they believe in us enough that they say, okay, you've been working on this thing for a long time. It's gonna cost a reasonable amount of money, and we're not gonna push any of that stuff on you. Which, yeah, that is a blessing, because there's no way everybody working at studios like Activision Blizzard is happy. Actually, reports have came out, most of them niggas is miserable, and they work there for money. Levine adds that he understands why it happens and doesn't blame anyone for trying to make a living. Gotta get it how you live it, and there's way more evil ways to make money than putting a microtransaction in the game. Because at the end of the day, developers putting microtransactions in games means nothing if you don't buy them. If you stop buying them and stop sitting there and letting them and fuck you over repeatedly, they could put $1 million worth of microtransactions in a game. Who gives a fuck? You ain't gotta buy it. Specific. But he points out recent hits like Baldur's Gate, Kingdom Come, blah, 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 as specific examples of no BS, AAA grade, single player titles that sold well and are incredibly well received. Yes, Baldur's Gate 3 has co-op, but it's a single player experience first and foremost. Yeah, and the co-op still, it isn't like social co-op, if that makes sense. It's not a casual game, it's a very hardcore game. These are games that are really traditionally single player games, and they don't have that kind of monetization in them. And I think the audiences reward those games. They do, because those type of experiences sit with you longer. Because like, real shit, and then y'all gotta be real with yourselves. If y'all played Fortnite in 2018 and y'all could never play Fortnite again a day in your life, how much would that experience sit with you? The answer is probably not a lot. If right now this Call of Duty that you're playing was the last Call of Duty you play for the rest of your life, and you live another 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 60 years till you die, and in those next 60 years, you never touch a Call of Duty, how much will this particular Call of Duty leave an impact on your life? Now think about a game like, even though it's not for me, Elden Ring. Think about a game like Fallout New Vegas. Think about a game like Expedition 33. Think about a game like Telltale's The Walking Dead. Think about the impressions those games leave on people. Now think about fucking Fortnite. Like, yeah, Fortnite was cool at first, but the fact that it never ends, the fact that you just keep going and going and going, the game doesn't give you a lasting sense of satisfaction like something like beating Millennia and Elden Ring would. Like something like fucking shooting Sophia or talking down Sophia in the Outer Worlds in the Outer Worlds would. Like, it's not the same feeling. When you really sit there and critically analyze it, like, yes, I do believe Fortnite is a good game, but it's a good game for what it is. In terms of the list of greatest games of all time, gameplay and systems wise, would I put Fortnite on the list of greatest games ever? Yes. Would it be high on that list? Fuck no. I'm grateful that we're allowed to not, and even if we're making a list of most historic games of all time, would I put Fortnite on that list? Still, yes, nigga, fuck you thought. That game is very historical. That game made like $1 billion and has like 100 million people playing it. Like, the fuck? Nigga, what is you on? Anyway, these are games that are really, no, I read that. I'm just grateful, blah, blah, blah. Judas is a Ghost Stories game. Yeah, we heard about it. It's basically supposed to be BioShock yet again, but, you know, different story, different publishers. But yeah, that and a couple quick updates. Oh wait, the article was here. I don't know why I wasn't there earlier, because I would have clicked it. Why is Spotify still playing? The fuck? Alright, there we go. Okay, it's paused. U.S. court. This one I want to read a little bit, because for those of you who don't have any context, the click to cancel is legislation that says as hard as it is to sign up for something is as hard as it gotta be to get out of that something. So if to sign up you go 1, 2, 3, to get rid of it, it has to be no more than 1, 2, 3. Because like, I don't know if y'all have ever seen anybody try to cancel a gym membership, or if y'all yourselves have ever tried to cancel a gym membership, but that shit is stressful, and they got all types of fuck ass rules in place to put friction in front of you for no reason other than they want you to give up and say, fuck it, I might as well just leave the shit on, whatever. When it's like, no, go pursue that, go cut that shit off. Anyway, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 8th Circuit vacated the FTC's click to cancel rule after finding the agency failed to follow necessary procedures under the FTC's act during the rulemaking process. Oh, so basically it's a technicality loophole, and they say go rewrite that shit and resubmit it. The decision issued earlier this week halts a regulation that would require businesses, because would have required is, that just don't sound right to my brain, would have required businesses to allow consumers to cancel subscriptions using the same method they use to sign up, such as a simple online click. The court ruled that while deceptive subscription practices are a legitimate concern, the FTC's procedural missteps rendered the entire rule invalid. So yeah, it's basically some technicalities. It sounds like in a little while they'll be coming and up. They'll be up and at it again, but they'll try again to put the legislator in, because it sounds like they want this shit to go through. It's just more so of a, hey, my job is to say if you miss a step, to tell you missed a step and send that shit back. So I hope that shit gets approved. Also, HBO Max is no longer just Max. It's now HBO Max again. So in the future, for like a 2-year period, you're gonna see all HBO Max commercials be called Max, and like there's gonna be somebody looking back saying, where's the HBO? And we're gonna look at shit, we're gonna think back to days like this and go, I remember. Shit went into the void. Also, unless I find another game to play, or like another modern game to play, I low-key might just go back on. Oh wait, no, I never finished Space Marines. That's the next game I'm gonna beat, Space Marines. I'm gonna start that next week. I might just play the Outer Worlds again. I don't know. Or you know what? The week leading up to the game releasing, I'm gonna restart the Outer Worlds. I'll do that so I could forget some of the game and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna finish Space Marines because I never finished that. Oh, I gotta actually no Astrobot. I got a bunch of Astrobot levels I gotta beat. So that's what I'm gonna be doing starting next week.